In this video, I'm giving you guys my preview of the Jaguars and the Chiefs game. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel. I'm your host Luca, and before we get started, like I always say guys, please hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so whenever I do release a video, you are notified, and also hit that like button. It helps out a whole lot. And please share this video with everyone and anyone that you know. Let's get started. So last week, wildcard weekend was amazing. I mean, the games were fantastic. And now we're moving on to the divisional rounds in the NFL playoffs. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing the game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars had a great year. They were out of the playoffs picture. No one gave them a chance. And they went on a run and they made the playoffs. And also, not only that, they also beat the Chargers last week in a huge comeback. They were down 27 in the first quarter. They came back roaring and they beat them in the last second with a field goal. Now they're moving on over to Kansas City in Arrowhead to face the Chiefs for that divisional round. Now the Chiefs won the AFC West. They ran roughshod through the AFC West. They won their division like always. They went undefeated 6-0 against all their opponents, against the Chargers, against the Broncos, and against the Raiders. They went 6-0, and so they won their division. And also they were able to secure that number one seat in the AFC. So they got that home field advantage and also have that first round bye. And that's why they weren't playing last week. So now they're welcoming in the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the odd makers are giving the Jaguars 8.5 points. The Chiefs did play the Jaguars earlier this season, and they beat them 27-17. The game wasn't close. Patrick Mahomes had an amazing game. He threw for 4 touchdowns, and his quarterback rating was 129, almost 130. So he was basically flawless. Now, for me personally, I think that I'm going to take the Chiefs here, and I think they're going to cover the 8.5 points. Some other odd makers have them as much as 9 points. I think they're going to beat the Jaguars by 15 points. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think they're going to destroy them. And the reason I say that is because I think Jacksonville Jaguars are coming off a huge high. I mean, the game they had last week, I mean, emotionally, I think they're drained because they were dead in water. They were not supposed to come back. They were not supposed to win that game. And even if they didn't win that game, no one would have said anything. You know, he's a young quarterback, first-year coach, trying to work things together, trying to build that franchise, trying to build that culture. Everybody would have given them a pass and say, you know what? You guys did good. You guys made the playoffs. No one thought you were going to make the playoffs. And you guys are here. And that's a win for the season. But no, they wanted that win. And they went in that second half and they showed out and they played their butt off. Trevor Lawrence, like I said, threw for 4 touchdowns, made no mistakes, had a perfect second half, and they came back and won. That was draining. I think that was emotionally draining for them. And coming to Kansas City Chiefs, they're facing a juggernaut. They're coming to face the big boys of the AFC. I mean, ever since Patrick Mahomes was the starter, he has never, ever lost in a divisional round. He has either went to the Super Bowl or only lost in the AFC Championship. First year as a starter, lost to Tom Brady in the AFC Championship, and it wasn't his fault. He played a great game. It just went to overtime. Tom Brady got the ball, and he never got the ball back. Second year as a starter, went to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. Third year as a starter, went to the Super Bowl, lost to Tampa Bay because his O-line was decimated. Fourth year as a starter, went to the AFC Championship, was winning against the Bengals going to the half, was blowing them out, and they had a second half collapse. So all the time he's been a starter, he has won either his wild card or his divisional round, and he only lost either in the Super Bowl or in the AFC Championship. So, and I don't think this year is going to be any different. I can see I am picking the Chiefs winning this game, and I'm picking the Chiefs winning this game handedly. Now, does the Jacksonville Jaguars have a chance? Yes, they do have a chance. How can they win the game? Well, it's a lot to ask, but a lot of things has to go perfect. First and foremost, they have to protect Trevor Lawrence. Okay, that O-line has to make sure that Chris Jones and the boys don't get to Trevor Lawrence. They have to make sure that Trevor Lawrence is not running for his life. They have to make sure that Trevor Lawrence is upright. Secondly, the receivers have to get open, and they have. I mean, Kansas City's DB and their, what do you call it? Their defensive backs and their cornerbacks and their safeties. They're not the best. I think they have allowed the second most or the third most touchdowns for that unit. So that's one of their weakness. So if they can keep Trevor Lawrence upright, make sure he doesn't get sacked or get pressured, and then also make sure that their wide receivers, the Jaguars, get open, that could be a recipe for it. And then another thing they have to make sure that Travis Etienne, their running back, he has to get some touches, and he has to keep the ball moving, and they have to run the ball. The one way you can beat Patrick Mahomes is make sure that he's not in the field. And one way to do that is to make sure the time of possessions is in your hand. And the perfect way to do that is to have your running back chew up the clock and chew up yards. Get 3 yards here, 4 yards here, 5 yards here. That's going to chew up the clock, and that's just going to keep Patrick Mahomes in the sideline. And that's one way. That's actually the best way you can beat him. Just make sure he doesn't touch the ball. So those are the ways that the Jaguars can win this game, or maybe even have a chance to win this game. But I don't think that won't matter, because I think that Patrick Mahomes is on a mission. I think that loss last year in the playoffs against the Bengals is still hot. It's still in his head, and because he had an opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl, and I am 100%. If they had made the Super Bowl last year, I think they would have won. I think they would have found a way to beat the Rams, but they didn't make it. And I think Patrick Mahomes is on a mission. He's a man on a mission, and he's trying to prove to everyone, like, hey, listen, I'm the big boy. I'm the one that everybody has to come through. So I definitely see the Kansas City Chiefs winning this game. So I am picking Kansas City minus 8.5, and I think they're going to win by at least 15 points. I got them winning 30-14. That's the final score, and it's going to be a blowout. Again, sorry, Jacksonville Jaguars fans. I'm not coming after you guys because I think you guys suck. I just think that, the Chiefs are just they're just too good. And they have a bunch of veterans in that team. And another stat that I just saw this morning when I was listening to one of these sport talks is that Andy Reid is 27-4 coming off a bye. I mean, think about that. 27-4. That is ridiculous. The man literally does not lose coming off a bye. So Andy Reid is gonna cook up a bunch of game plans, and Patrick Mahomes and the boys and Kelsey and Juju Smith and all these boys are gonna come out there, and they are on a mission. They want to make it back to Super Bowl, and I think Patrick Mahomes wants to not only win the MVP, which he's going to do, he wants to win that Super Bowl and hoist that Lombardi. So I am taking the Chiefs. Jaguars, you guys had a great season. Listen, be proud of what happened. Your future is bright. Trevor Lawrence is going to win a Super Bowl. Trevor Lawrence is that good. I mean, like I said, I think I made a video about him, just giving you guys my thoughts on what I thought the game was when they came back. I am more impressed with the way he handled himself against that Chargers game than I have ever been in any of his games. Like I said, you throw 4 interceptions and you come back in a playoff games with all that pressure on you, and you come back and you win that game, and they win the game because of you, not in spite of you. I'm like, look, the man has everything. He has the poise, he has the talent, he has the arm strength, he has that competitive nature in him, and then most importantly, Doug Peterson, that coach you guys have, he is going to work wonders with Trevor Lawrence. So the future is super bright for the Jaguars. The future is super bright for Trevor Lawrence. This young man is going to win Super Bowls. And I said Super Bowls with an S. That's how good I think he is. But this year, I think that ride ends in Kansas City. And I think Patrick Mahomes and the boys, they are going to take care of business. So guys, that is my preview. That is my thought on the game between the Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to make more videos about all the other divisional games, the 3 remaining ones. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts, I'm gonna give you guys my previews. Anyway, guys, love you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you guys next time.